Right, so far I've showed you the Belgian parade from 2021 with the commentary from Martin Brundle and David Croft. That's in this video here. Then I've done it with the F1 TV's Formula One management's own commentators, where I wrongly suggested it was Jolyon Palmer commentating on there. Somebody's added the name of the commentator in the comments section, so I appreciate that for doing so. Can't remember it off the top of my head. Now what we're going to do is look at the BBC's commentary. So the third different commentary team spewing the same narrative, and it's not the truth. This should wake you up to the fact that media lies to you. Something is taking place here, and I can explain to you exactly what should be taking place and the fact that it does not constitute a race, and yet there's three separate, supposedly separate media reporting to you that you are seeing a race. That's something that's wrong, isn't there? That happens in everything in the world. Everything that we get informed about in the media is informed to convince us of it happening a certain way. And often that's not the truth. That's just the narrative of those wishing to make us believe it to be a certain way to validate their agenda. Their agenda this time is to make it look like something has taken place so they don't have to refund those 180,000 people or however many people turned up to try and watch a Grand Prix, and the Grand Prix couldn't be staged. So they pretended that they'd seen a Grand Prix and they awarded a race win and some points, and there you go, you can go away happy. You've set your orange flares off, you've cheered, you've waved your arms in the air, off you go then, don't you go worrying your little heads. And the media convinces the global audience that yes, there's been a race here today. Sky Sports F1 in Brundle and Crofty. The Formula One management selected team for F1 TV. Two different teams. The third team, not one of them will refer to this. The sprint qualifying session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. So the race does not start until that safety car has departed the track, and then the lead car starts the lap. Safety car peels off into the pits, and then and after the safety car's peeled off into the pits, the moment that lead car then crosses that finish line for the first time after the safety car's departed, then we go racing. Then we get green conditions. There was never once green conditions. It was always under caution. That is not racing. Racing is neutralised under caution. You cannot overtake. All you can do is follow the car that's in front of you, dictated by that speed of the car that's in front of you, which is ultimately dictated by the safety car. That is not racing. This is what the regulations are. Let's see what the third mind conditioning media machine has to say about it. Now, I'm getting this on YouTube from a YouTuber called Wesman444. He's got 865 subscribers. I'm going to put a link to this commentary track in the description of this video. Please, for several of you, please, as many as you can, get yourself across, press that link and just subscribe to his channel. Get him above the 1,000, because then that gives him the option of getting monetized if he wants to, and it might give his channel some extra reach. Who knows? Ultimately, it's useful having this as a resource, and I thank him for being able to post these so that I can then simply find this as further evidence. So please show Wesman444 a little bit of support by going to his channel and just doing that. You don't have to click the bell icon to get notified of any of his uploads if you're not interested in that, but it will help him out. Anyway, I'm going to just play the first introduction of the commentary from the BBC, and then we're going to fast forward it to 3 hours 22 minutes and go through from there. So here goes.
This is 5 Live Formula One with Jack Nicholls.
So Jack Nicholls.
Round 12 of the Formula One World Championship about to get underway in drizzly, miserable, wet conditions in Spa-Francorchamps, Belgium. This iconic race circuit that has been hosting Formula One races for decades and decades is famously changeable in its weather conditions, but actually we tend to get quite a lot of dry races here. more than you would expect anyway. Today is not going to be one of those. The risk of rain for this session is 100%, and the race will start in 10 minutes behind the safety car, or at least the formation lap will begin behind the safety car. Sergio Perez has already crashed out. He won't take part in the Grand Prix.
There you go. Confirmed by the commentator. Sergio Perez won't take part in the Grand Prix.
The rest of the drivers getting into their cars now. Max Verstappen is starting on pole position. George Russell alongside him on the front row. Hamilton is third. Daniel Ricciardo in his best qualifying performance for McLaren is fourth, with Sebastian Vettel fifth for the Aston Martin team. Gasly, Perez won't start. Ocon, Leclerc and Latifi are the rest of the top 10. Carlos Sainz is 11th.
Now that top 10 is rather unusual, isn't it? George Russell second, Latifi in the top 10. Why was that? Oh, well, that was because of the wet qualifying and the changeable conditions, and drivers getting lucky on when they set their qualifying lap, getting the conditions that enabled them freak times, relatively speaking, wasn't it? Okay, so qualifying was an anomaly here as well.
Alonso is 12th, Valtteri Bottas had a 5-place grid drop, so is 13th. Antonio Giovinazzi is 14th. Lando Norris had a 5-place grid drop for changing a gearbox, so is 15th on the grid after his crash at Eau Rouge yesterday. Yuki Tsunoda is 16th, 17th is Mick Schumacher, 18th is Nikita Mazepin, 19th Lance Stroll. Kimi Raikkonen will start from the pit lane. Alongside me, as ever, is the former F1 driver, Jolyon Palmer.
So here's Jolyon Palmer. Like I say, I apologise for saying it was him in the F1 TV commentary.
Andrew Benson, the BBC.
And cocksucker Andrew Benson's there.
BBC's chief F1.
The BBC's chief
writer is with us as well.
Right, so we're going to go through to 3 hours 22 minutes and listen to what they're bullshitting us with there. We'll go 3 hours 21:51. Let's play it from there.
Russell looking at a podium, Ricciardo and Vettel up there as well. Perez can start from his pit lane.
No, Perez is starting now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. In fact, Perez won't even start from the pit lane, will he? Because everyone's starting from the pit lane now.
So he just join the back of the queue, I guess.
Just joins the back of the queue, and it'll be a rolling start. I'm fairly sure.
So a rolling start, you're fairly sure, and you've read the regulations that because they say it here, rolling start, restart. Yeah, rolling start will be after one or more formation laps behind the safety car. The track conditions are considered unsuitable to start the sprint qualifying session or the race from a standing start. The message rolling start will be sent to all competitors via the official messaging system. All FIA light panels will display rolling start, RS there, and the car's orange lights, the safety car's orange lights, will be extinguished. This will be the signal to the competitors and drivers that will be entering the pit lane at the end of that lap. That never took place, did it? At this point, the car, yeah, so it's the car that's the first car behind the safety car, the lead car, may dictate the pace, and if necessary, fall more than 10 car lengths behind it. As the safety car is approaching the pit entry and the FIA light panels will be extinguished, and a green flag and or green light panel will be displayed at the line. That never happened. We never went green. No driver may overtake another car on the track until he passes the line, the start-finish line, for the first time after the safety car has returned to the pits. The sprint qualifying session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. That is when the race starts. Quite simple, lads.
Will there actually be, if we hype this up a bit much, will there be a Grand Prix, or is this the...
Yes, you've hyped it up a bit much.
The 2 laps and then we're all going home?
Or will it be the 2 laps and we're all going home? What? What do you mean the 2 laps and then we're all going home, lads?
Would be the real kicker, wouldn't it? But I just think, looking at the track, there's still raining.
I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would do the 2 laps just to get points.
It's what...
Mind conditioning. I don't think they'd do the 2 laps, making that even possible. If there's no race, then you don't get points because you've not competed. Okay, there's nothing about getting points for your qualifying position. The points are awarded based on the race results. If there's no race, there is no race result. There's just nothing has taken place. It's not an event. There's been no racing.
Russell was very wary of making sure that they at least did that. from where he is on the grid. He wants
Oh, because George wants to put some points for his freak qualifying position.
At least the result from his qualifying to stand as the race. But I think
Because George qualified second in his Williams there, got lucky on the timing that he went out to do his qualifying lap. Because of that, George wants to be awarded second place in the race. Because George thinks he'd have been able to contest the entire Belgian Grand Prix and maintain that second position. That's nice, George.
Looking at the track, I don't think it's that wet now that they can't run the race.
Oh, let's because we've not got the visuals if we're listening to the radio. So what you're doing, you're lying to the people to make the people think that it's now changed to a position where we can go racing.
Yeah, we'll see when they get up to some speed. 4 minutes, and then they'll be released behind the safety car. We'll get a bit of a glimpse then. We'll hear some radio chatter once again from the drivers to the teams, which Michael Massey will be all across to pick up what the driver's feedback is from the conditions. And it's only really, you can see the medical car all you like, but when you see Formula One cars out in a pack, then you can see the real spray effect, how much water there is. It didn't look as bad.
Izzy said,
yeah, it doesn't look as bad.
My dad told me to tell you this is the best commentary he's heard in a long time. We've had a 3-hour drive and are due to get home in 10 minutes. So please delay another 5. Well, I think you'll be all right, Izzy, because there'll be 2 or 3 laps at least behind the safety car before.
Izzy and her father like listening to 3 twats from the BBC chatting shit. That's nice. Good for you, Izzy.
A race actually gets underway.
The good news is 1 lap in wet conditions is 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's going fast in a Formula One car in wet conditions. So behind the safety car, it's going to be more like 3 or 4 minutes. And so you're probably going to be okay on timing. It's such a long lap.
Andrew Benson, am I right in thinking we're
Andrew Benson, cocksucker extraordinaire.
almost guaranteed half points here? Because an hour race, you can't get to 75% race distance, surely.
100%, yeah. They won't get to 75% race distance, no question about that. And also, just to sort of calm your fears, this isn't a cynical move, I don't think. They're actually going to try to have a race.
Andrew Benson's calming everybody's fears. Brundle does that when Brundle's bullshitting as well, Andrew. Let's listen to Andrew's bullshit again. It's calming everybody's fears.
There's no question about that. 100%, yeah. They won't get to 75% race distance, no question about that. And also, just to sort of calm your fears, this isn't a cynical move, I don't think. They're actually going to try to have a race.
Really, Andrew? It's not a cynical move. You've been sat there for 2.5 hours. The conditions haven't really changed significantly. If anything, the rain's just started to come down a bit heavier, but now you're sending them out. Oh, it's not a cynical move. But the lads have already said, oh, is this just going to be 2 laps? And that's it, the 2 laps? Oh, it's not a cynical move. Oh, let's justify it.
Having said that, there's obviously an element of experimentation going on. They'll go out, do a couple of laps behind the safety car. The drivers will report back to see how they feel about the track conditions. Michael Massey will listen to that. Then they'll make a call on what to do. But this is not about just getting. This is not right now. This is not about just getting 2 laps to get some points in. It's about trying to have a race. So
again, gaslighting the notion that if they do 2 laps, that will make sure that points can be awarded. No, because if them 2 laps aren't under green, if they're not racing laps, then the race hasn't started, Andrew. The BBC's chief Formula One correspondent, the man you'd think would be qualified to talk about the sport and have knowledge of the sport, and if you had to reference the regulations there when talking about the sport, wouldn't you? You'd think that would be the basic qualification if you're presented as a journalist, as an expert of the sport, wouldn't you, Andrew? Not just a lying bastard, lying media fuck that you are, to mind condition the children, you abusive fuck. Anyway, the sprint qualifying session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. You see, Andrew, that's not congruent with the manner in which you describe it, is it, Andrew? No. No, it's not, Andrew. You get down on your knees, don't you, Andrew?
Great news, everybody. Sorry. Man United just flashed a shot past the post. Right, race, but we will focus back onto the racing cars now. And yeah, we've just got 2 minutes until the race gets back underway. OJ has removed all the...
Until the race gets back underway. Are you sure it's not 2 minutes before they go out on track and see if it's possible for a race to happen? There's ways you can say things to divert people's minds, isn't there? 2 minutes until the race gets underway, or 2 minutes time, they're going to go back out on track and we're going to see what the situation is. Is the spray going to be too much? Is the visibility still not going to be good enough to stage a race?
Stones from the soil in the front garden since the red flag. Marginally more interesting than the Sports Extra commentary on chess and cheese. Fair enough.
What? Hang on.
You see, when Test Match Special chat shit in some of the quieter moments of play, that can be entertaining. You people from Formula One are just fake fucks. Okay, you're proper fucking boring.
Has he been multitasking?
What do you mean?
Listening and doing the stones?
And taking the stones, yeah.
Oh, but he preferred the stones to the
Yeah,
listen.
that's the dig there.
Yeah. Well, he had the dig, didn't he?
Oh, very good. Digging the stones. Right. The cars now are starting to fire up. The focus has to come back in. And the drivers have to get ready for some very tricky, treacherous conditions. Those of you asking, oh, you might need another sync up. Okay, that's a fair question actually. From I'm not going to read your Twitter name out actually, but it's a fair enough reason, and I will give you a countdown to the green light, to the light going green at the end of the pit lane, so you can sync up for those of you still with us. And Sergio Perez is in the garage, ready to go. He wanted to be on a plane 3 hours ago, but he is not. He's just getting lowered down from the jacks and about to pull out into the pit lane. Everybody now leaving Valtteri Bottas's car as well. Oh, it's raining pretty heavily. We'll see what happens when the cars get out.
It's raining pretty heavily.
On track though, we've got 10 seconds.
What do we think is going to happen when the cars go out on track if it's now raining really heavily? Oh, we'll send them out anyway. You know, for 2.5 hours, it's been delay after delay, assess the conditions, delay, assess the conditions, delay, assess the decisions, delay, assess the condition. It's raining really heavily. Send them out. Funny that, isn't it?
Now until the light goes green at the end of the pit lane. The safety car at the head of the field. The light's going to go green in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green light now at the end of the pit lane. And the safety car pulls away, and Formula One cars are going back out onto the track. You can hear the fans in the grandstand applauding and elated and delighted with that particular decision.
Yay, they're setting off their orange flares so you can see even less.
And this is race start. The race is...
And this is race start, is it, Jolien? I believe it's Jolien saying that. And this is race start. Who's told you to say that, Jolien? Because the race doesn't start, okay, until the safety car's back in the pits. Here you go. The race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. And so why are you saying this is race start?
And this is race start. The race is...
No, it's not.
Now officially started.
Yeah.
So, I think whatever happens, I can't believe they're going to come straight back through the pit lane. So I think we're going to get a result.
We're going to get a result here because the race has started. It's not a formation lap, is it? Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? It's a formation lap behind the safety car. This isn't a race.
Because they should now get 2 laps in, which will mean that there is
the 2-lap narrative.
A result from the Grand Prix. Now, looking at the cars coming up the top of Eau Rouge, it's so much. It's better than it was. It's a lot better than it was, I think.
As you can see, it's so much better, isn't it? The conditions that are acceptable for racing in recent times. No, that's when they say no, it's not suitable for racing.
The track is better, but it's still raining. So the sweepers have done a solid job. Oh, the long shot looking back from Les Combes, and you can see a safety car. You can see Verstappen on the left. You can see Hamilton ducking out to the right, and there was no sign of George Russell somewhere in second, just covered in the spray. It's still very, very wet. There'll be a bit of safety car driving for starters, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll get a good few laps behind the safety car. Sergio Perez makes his way back out onto the circuit again, and he's going to be down at the back. And George Russell making his way around the right-hander of Rivage. And I'm sure we'll get to hear some radio messages before too long of what the drivers have got to say.
They've still got to be careful in these sort of conditions. Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton, particularly because they've got a lot at stake here. But they've all got to be careful they don't do something silly and lock a wheel under safety car with cold tyres, a lot of water, and run off the track, because now this is going to be a result. And
yeah.
Hey, everybody, now this is going to be a result. We've not started anything, but now it's going to be a result. That's a lie, isn't it? These so-called experts, former driver, lying to the fans. Yeah, but he's put in front of you. You recognise the name, you recognise the face. Oh, this is an authentic ex-Formula 1 driver informing us of the situation. Lying to you. But he's one of the kind that will get down on their knees and suck the cock, and that's why they get a job in Formula 1 accredited media.
Imagine if you lost it under safety car, and even if you just ran wide, then the car behind, if you're off the track, is allowed to come past you. Imagine if that's how this race ended, and we don't get any proper racing, but you lose your result from qualifying because you've gone off under safety.
You lose your result from qualifying. Yeah, qualifying just sets your grid position. It's not a result that you earn points from. Okay, you achieve your points by where you finish in the race. Race hasn't started yet. You're only racing when the conditions are green. Go. Green for go. The race is go. Race never goes. There's no race.
And it's happened before. Russell, Imola last year in dry conditions, ended up hitting the barrier and lost a likely point from that one. There's a lot at stake. So,
well, did a race happen there? Oh yeah, it did. Okay.
And in these conditions, stranger things have happened.
Absolutely, it wasn't us. I presume you're referring to Lewis Hamilton as he made his way back into the car. The cars are out on track. We've basically got a 1-hour race underway, but they're behind the safety car at the moment. Over 3 hours and 20 minutes. Well, in fact, 3 hours exactly since we last tried to get the Grand Prix action underway. Jolyon Palmer, former Renault F1 driver, still alongside me. How are the conditions looking, Jolyon? It is pretty wet out there, pretty miserable. Are we going to get any actual racing, or is it still behind the safety car?
Are we going to get any actual racing? No, we don't. Actual racing is when it's green. Yeah, that's called racing. Okay, actual racing, not racing, as F1 TV commentators like to call it. BBC want to call it actual racing, or you can just call it racing.
I can see it being a possible
rather than parading behind the safety car.
To release the cars to racing speed. It's better than it was when we tried to go all those hours ago now. What's definitely going to happen is we're going to get a result now from this, because we've done 2 laps even behind the safety car. We will now have a race classification.
2 laps behind the safety car does not give you a result. There has to be 2 racing laps. 2 laps where you can contest for position, not just follow the leader. That's not a race. Follow the leader without being allowed to overtake is not a race. No race has taken place. If anybody tries to convince you of that, they are defrauding you, they're lying to you, they're gaslighting you. This is what all 3 forms of media have done. All 3 of them. That doesn't happen by chance. They're complying with a narrative. So during that 3 hour, 2.5 hour, 3 hours, the memos got round. This is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to play this out. So if we finish after 2 laps, then that will be the race result, media. Okay, you got that? You understand that that's how it's going to be? Yeah, you understand how that's going to be. Don't call out the rules, though. Don't tell the smooth brains that actually the sprint qualifying session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. That's how a race starts. Don't tell anybody that, though. Just comply with our narrative, because we don't want to refund the spectators. We want to convince everybody that they've seen a race, and we can justifiably say that somebody's won that and award some points. That way we can tell people, no, you did see a race, and therefore you're not entitled to a refund.
As they've all come past the start-finish line. It's wet, but I think we're towards the realm of being able to have a very sketchy wet race.
Okay, well, we will wait and see. We'll have full commentary on 5 Live Sports Extra. Verstappen leading, George Russell second, Hamilton third. That is how it would finish if the race was declared a result here, but we'll see what happens.
If it was declared a result here, just like this. Hang on, we've not been racing yet. Don't call this a race. You're calling it a race. Keep saying race. Everyone thinks it's a race because you've said race so many times.
Sports Extra. Visibility from Russell. I mean, it's 0, but you're racing in the rain.
It's not absolutely 0 for Russell, but this is low speed. As soon as Verstappen gets up to proper speed, he's going to churn out so much more water from the back of the Red Bull, and it will be then 0. For everyone else further back, it is deteriorating worse and worse. Tough call, but we'll wait for some radio chatter, really. The drivers are the ones that know best the conditions. Is it aquaplaning? We're going to hear that again. Or is it just the visibility that's the limiting factor? If so, how much of an issue is that? The visibility is always going to be bad in the wet.
John says, thank you for a highly entertaining afternoon. Infinitely preferable to watching a Formula E race at any time. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. 55 minutes on the clock then. And Verstappen and Russell and Hamilton, the top 3 still, as Bernd Mailander makes his way around Pouhon. You can hear the cheers from the Pouhon grandstand.
The smooth brains are having a lovely time. They're cheering. They're waving their arms in the air. They're letting off the orange flares. They think they're seeing something that's exciting.
It is still rainy and murky. The lights are still on the safety car, but we haven't heard many radio messages yet saying it's sort of undrivable.
I think the drivers are all working it out now. So they need some time to feel what it's like before they just report it back. They've had now a lap, nearly 2 laps as they come towards Stavelot. It's 100%. It's better than it was, and I think it's not that far from being a possibility of racing here. In a lower,
not that far from being able to race. So we're not racing, are we? So it's not a race. So if we're not racing, because we're behind a safety car, we're not racing, then you can't declare a result of a race if we've not raced.
Speed, the spray is reduced. That's what you want, really. You want, at least when you get to a braking zone and the car's speed comes down, that you can see a bit where you're going.
On the back, it's getting better. It's much better on the back.
So this is This is the only message we've been interjected with, chosen by F1 TV. The only one is from Perez, the guy that we were told wasn't going to be in the race, now is in the race. And he's probably more than 10 car lengths off the back there. So the spray that he's experiencing has probably dissipated. So when you're that far behind, yeah, it's not so bad. The spray's dissipated. I can see now. Yeah, funny that. But that's the only message that gets played to the world to convince the world that the conditions are better. Stay on the edge of your seat, everybody. We might see some racing because Perez says it's better.
At the end of the lap, final sector is better.
So Perez saying it's getting better.
He's a few seconds off the back of the pack. Perez has left a margin to Kimi Raikkonen, and is relatively okay, his visibility. Particularly the final sector's not so bad. Round Pouhon down through the Fagnes chicane and the two Stavalos, it's okay. Then they build up speed towards Blanchimont, very quick left-hander, and then the bus stop. And it's low visibility, as you'd expect when the speed is higher on the straight and through Blanchimont. They slow down for the bus stop and the visibility's okay. And this is basically what you classically get in the wet. You can't see anything on the straights, you slow down for the corners, and then you see a little bit more. But what are the other drivers going to say? There's the ones in the mid-pack that are going to be the ones finding it the toughest. Perez at the back has just dropped off a little bit. He's a couple of seconds away from Raikkonen. So technically he should have a lot of spray, but he's dropped a little bit further away from the car ahead. If you're tucked in behind, then how awful is it through? And what about the rest of the lap? Eau Rouge, notoriously a tough corner. If you can't see a lot going in there, that's tough times.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? So what are we doing now? Now we're saying, well, actually, is it good enough for us? Oh, it's getting better. We're thinking it's good enough for racing. Or actually, is it good enough for racing? Or maybe it's not good enough for racing. So what we've done, we've hyped it up to make everybody believe we're going to go racing. Talked about the 2 laps, but now we're having doubts. Oh, is it though? Is it any good? Yeah, actually, if you are tucked up close, then how much visibility have you really got? Yeah, could be tough, especially through some of them corners, which are treacherous.
Andy has combined a 10-acre field, got home, and the race still hasn't started. So there we go. It's murky down the Kemmel Straight, isn't it?
Kemmel Straight looks the worst. There's a lot of overhang from the trees there as well. And I think that area looks the worst. And at the top of the hill there. Looks like the clouds coming in again. But around the rest of the lap, it doesn't look so bad. Jack, I think it's raceable.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it's raceable. Is the visibility any good? Oh, Perez says it is. I think it is. I think it's better. Yeah, we should get some racing.
It's very tough. But I think this is certainly is not when we had the.
I think it's raceable. We're still assessing, aren't we, lads? Because we're not racing at the moment, are we? But you said that this could be the result of the race. But we're not racing yet.
The car's going round earlier. I just couldn't see that it was possible.
Yeah.
This time, it's a tough call, but I see that it is possible. It'll be
It's possible, meaning we haven't started racing yet. Well, clearly we're not. We're behind the safety car. We're under yellow conditions. Nothing goes green.
Very wet one. It'll be really tricky conditions, but is it drivable for some racing laps?
Sound you can hear is Max Verstappen.
Is it drivable for some racing laps? So we're still asking the question 2 laps in, aren't we? Is it drivable for some racing laps?
We haven't heard much, but it hasn't really sounded like much wheel spin compared to earlier as well.
Exactly. Every time red flag again.
Oh, red flag. Is it going to be good enough for some racing? Oh no, red flag. What have you done there?
Red flag.
Okay, well that's the 2 laps and done.
The 2 laps and done. There's been no race.
Oh, the fans are cheering in the grandstand, but
yay!
As the cars go past, but then they will see the red flag. It's raining harder again in the pit lane now.
Oh, it's miraculous that a few seconds ago you're all optimistic. Oh, but within that few seconds now it's raining harder in the pit lane. Now we're just justifying the red flag, aren't we, lads? We were justifying starting the race, now we're justifying ending the race just a few seconds later. Oh, that's incredible. Incredible validating commentators.
Race suspended, cars to line up in pit lane. And the clock keeps ticking.
I think that could be that now.
I can't help but think we're done.
Yeah. Oh, I was just getting my hopes up.
Yeah.
It was better.
Yeah, you were getting everybody's hopes up, weren't you? You were selling the product. Selling the crack to the kids.
Traction was a little bit better. Still pretty bad out there, but we're towards the grey area of...
The loopholes and the grey areas. Nobody knows. Get the lawyers involved, everybody, and let's argue over it for 3 years.
Is it raceable as a very wet race, rather than just is absolutely not? But hey, it's not going to happen. So I assume there's been a lot of feedback from the drivers that we've not had played
presumably.
out. That must be what's happened. There's many.
So all this feedback from the drivers, which they will be radioing, giving their race engineer the information about visibility, because they know that race control will be hearing that and determining whether or not it's raceable. So the drivers will be saying, no, I can't see. Why did F1 TV not choose to broadcast that to us? Oh, because they didn't want us to be thinking about it that way, did they? They have that footage. I mean, we could go back to the driver cams and actually present that, but we know what that's going to reflect. Okay, they did not play that to the global feed. They only played Perez. Oh, yeah, it's better now. We can go racing. That's a message that they wanted to condition your mind with. That's what they pick and choose. They choose the narrative. That's what they do. The media, mind conditioning machine.
Many drivers out there that have said no, can't do it.
And in these conditions, obviously, it is acceptable to err on the side of caution when safety is the issue. And at a track like...
So first we were trying to justify starting the race. Now we're trying to justify ending the parade.
But you know, if we're at Portimao, maybe it's a different conversation.
Yeah, and it comes back to what I was saying.
We'll embellish these bullshit lies by going, oh yes, well, if we were at a different scenario, would we be thinking about it this way? You know, in Azerbaijan we had a 2-lap race, is what they said in the previous video, didn't they? But actually it was green for what, 40-odd laps of that Grand Prix? Yeah, they did race for 40-odd laps. The Grand Prix did take place. It wasn't just reduced to a 2-lap race. Oh yes, actually it was, because they took away all the previously built up advantages over them 40 and just turned it into a 2-lap sprint, didn't they? But that's the way that this sport operates.
Earlier,
I say sport, show.
About that Brazil 2016 race, we raced it. I felt it was a really sketchy one that could have been bad. We got away with it at the time, but it's a really tricky one, and I can only assume there's been a lot of...
Brazil 2016, we're in 2021, lads, move on already. Haha, still crying over Brazil. Oh no, that's just the strap-on fanboys that talk like that, isn't it?
Feedback from the drivers saying not feeling it, can't see anything, track grip still not there. So then I think there's only one answer. Michael Massey sitting in his control tower, he can look out, see what we can see, have his own thoughts, but he's got to go mainly off the feedback of the drivers. And we've only heard the Perez radio message that said it was much better, but now they're back in the pit lane. The rain's still coming down. I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, we'll see what they decide to do. 49 minutes are still on the clock. Whether they... And I think you have to look at the sort of the background of this as well a little bit. I think when you think of the I guess the pressure sort of that Massey is under, and the W Series crash, and
see, when you're fumbling, you're just making shit up, aren't you? You're just making shit up. All the pressure that Michael's under. So you're trying to now twist it around to say, oh, the pressure that he's under to maintain safety. Absolutely right. That's his job. His job is to oversee the safe running of that event and make sure it is ran in accordance with the rules and regulations of the sport. That's his job. Where's the pressure? Oh, the pressure really is from the financial interests, isn't it? Your pressure is coming from Formula One management. They're saying, we don't want to refund all of these spectators that attended this event. We've got an obligation to all of these sponsors who've sponsored this event, and those people want us to have staged a Grand Prix that they've paid to be the sponsors of. And if no such Grand Prix exists, then they'll want a refund because they sponsored an event that then didn't take place. So there'll be contractual arrangements whereby what they pay Formula One management will decrease if there is no such event. Oh, we don't want that. So Michael Massey, you need to pretend that there's some sort of race here. So that's the pressure that Michael Massey is really under.
The Norris crashing yesterday after the complaints that shouldn't have happened, and even back to the Hubert stuff a few years ago. It's not directly related, but I think that overall Spa, Eau Rouge, danger, wet pressure would definitely make you err on the side of caution.
Yeah, it's a high-speed track with barriers pretty close. Eau Rouge is notorious, and it's come in the firing line really the last few years. And again, with the W Series crash on Friday, someone goes off there, everyone's blindsided at the top. I think if it was another circuit, if it was Paul Ricard, big runoff areas, not such a notoriously...
Silverstone.
Yeah, Silverstone might be okay as well. A lot of fast corners at Silverstone, but it's the fast corners and the proximity of the barriers. And
if this was something different, it might be something different. Thanks for that, lads. Just filling time, aren't you? Load of bullshit.
even corners like Blanchimont, coming into the bus stop, there's a quick left-hander that is so easily flat in the dry, but in serious wet conditions, you're probably able to blend out. Kimi Räikkönen had a crash there in 2008 in the Grand Prix in the closing stages, and it's that sort of thing. It's a corner that is so easy flat, you're not worried about crashing there in the dry, but in these conditions, it's another one with the barriers very close. So certainly we've erred on the side of caution, and it's...
You weren't saying that as they were parading around behind the safety car, were you, lads? Now, as they're parading around behind the safety car, you weren't saying any of that. You were going, I think we're almost ready to get some proper racing going. Was it? Not racing. It wasn't you that said it was racing. Yeah, I think you called it, whatever you called it. But now that that's not going to happen, you're justifying it not happening. Saying, no, actually, it would have been dangerous. We've got to consider the danger that you weren't considering when you were trying to validate and excite everybody into believing that they were going to see the race that you knew they weren't, because you were just saying about the 2 laps beforehand, weren't you? Just the 2 laps of non-racing to get the points and declare a winner. Oh, that was the memo, wasn't it, lads? That was the memo. Down on your knees, suck the cock.
It's tough to blame anyone for this one.
Yeah, I would agree. The conditions have been very poor. It feels that you'd almost rather points were... honestly, I think I would rather they didn't do the 2 laps and then... But I think they were doing the 2 laps to try and get a race, and it is now raining pretty heavy.
To try to get a race, but they didn't. So there's nothing awarded because no race took place.
Heavily again in the pit lane area. So on the one hand, you kind of wish they hadn't even tried and no one scores any points, and that feels more fair. It doesn't really feel fair to have a race result.
Why would that be? Oh, that would be because there was no race. And if you just line up to begin a race and then the race doesn't happen, you can't declare a winner of it, can you? Imagine that. Imagine you've entered a race, where whatever form of race that could be, running, cycling, motor car racing, you're all lined up on the start line and they say, oh, sorry, the course that we were going to run this race over is really dangerous and we now can't do it. We can't allow you to compete on that racetrack because there is a high chance of something happening causing injury to people, and we would be liable for that, so we can't let you race. I know. We'll say that you over there, you won it. You came second and you came third. Hurrah! Let's have a podium and celebrate the top three. What the fuck is that all about? Because that's essentially what you've done.
From this in a way, but
it doesn't feel fair to have nothing from this.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the point.
Oh, it doesn't feel fair to have nothing. Oh, so it's not fair to actually declare anybody any results and award anybody anything, but it's not fair for nothing either. Oh, let's have an argument about it. Let's tell me how you feel about it, everybody. No, because some of you don't know how to think. Okay, it's not about how you feel when you don't know how to think. If nothing has taken place, if no race has taken place, nothing has happened. Nobody gets awarded anything. Oh, but I don't like that. I don't give a fuck what you like. It doesn't matter what you think when you don't know how to think properly. Desire-driven motivations.
No race.
But there was everything else that leading into the race. There was still Verstappen on pole, Russell on the front row. Verstappen had a great chance to win this race.
Okay, but he also had a great chance of crashing out of the race, losing it in the wet. Nobody knows, do they? Because there was no race. Nothing happened. Nobody knows. So let's not predict that he would have won and award him the win anyway, because no race took place.
If Russell gets 9.5 points for that qualifying lap yesterday, that's fair enough.
How many other people got 9.5 points for a qualifying lap? Nobody. Nobody. Well, he didn't get 9.5 because, again, you're wrong. But who gets points for their qualifying lap? You don't, do you? So why are we awarding points for qualifying laps? Oh, because he absolutely deserved it. He had no luck all year. He absolutely deserved it.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Not the rub of the green.
That's
9 points.
9 points.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think.
Yeah. See, absolutely right. We affirm one another, don't we? We always affirm one another. One person says it, the other one says yes. Absolutely right. This is what the commentary teams do.
I don't like the idea of the whole weekend going to nothing. And if it was practice sessions, then
I mean, they don't have somebody say, you're chatting shit, mate. They're the regulations. Shut the fuck up. Tell the people how it really is. Oh no, that doesn't get you a job in the media. People don't like that. People don't like the truth. They like hearing the fluff. Yes.
Fine, but qualifying, it has a direct correlation to the outcome of the race anyway. This is the starting order.
It has a direct correlation. Did you say to the outcome of the race?
Has a direct correlation to the outcome of the race anyway.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Qualifying has a direct correlation to the outcome of the race. You give me examples where that's true, and I'll give you examples where it's completely not true. For example, this year's Belgian race. Who was the pole sitter? Or would that have been Lando Norris? Who won the race? Or would that be Oscar Piastri? Is that a direct correlation as to the pole sitter winning the race? Oh, that's my example that's clearly disproven your bullshit. That's just one. That's just one, and we can go through every Grand Prix and say whether the pole sitter converted that into a victory and how many of the other people that started in their positions on the grid then finished in that position. because it's not a direct correlation. Many things can happen over the course of a race, and therefore the outcome of the race determines the points that are awarded that you've earned due to competing in a race and seeing how that unfolded. Nothing to do with the bullshit you've just come out with.
Then fine, but qualifying, it has a direct correlation to the outcome of the race.
This is somebody using terminology that they don't understand. You're not fucking qualified to fucking educate people. You should not be fucking mind conditioning on the mind conditioning machine, you corrupt fuck.
Anyway, this is the starting order. I think I'd rather that someone got something from the weekend, and we're only talking half points anyway.
Somebody got something. We're only talking half points anyway. Oh, but them half points, 5 more points than Lewis Hamilton, and a race win, which Abu Dhabi 2021 meant we go into the season decider on level points. But Max has got 9 wins to Lewis's 8, meaning Max can afford to crash Lewis off and become champion. You take away the Belgian parade, that 5-point difference. Oh, well, now we go into Abu Dhabi and Max is 5 points behind with 8 wins each. Oh, different scenario now. Max would be less inclined to crash Lewis out of the race and risk being out of the race himself. Then Lewis is champion. Completely different dynamics, isn't it? But it's only half points. Don't you worry your little heads.
If that is the race.
Certainly.
If that is the race, we're still asking the question. We can just go there. Race will have deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. And you're still asking if that was the race.
Yeah, we did 2 laps behind the safety car, and now the red flag has come out. There's 45 minutes left on the clock, but well, we're feeling a little pessimistic actually that we won't have any more action. Now they've done 2 laps behind the safety car, it can officially be declared as a result. So Max Verstappen might have just won the Belgian Grand Prix without really doing anything.
There you go. 3 examples. Sky Sports F1, Brundle and Crofty. F1 TV, F1 Management's own broadcasting platform with their own selected commentators, now the BBC. That doesn't happen by chance. All 3 of them lying about the regulations of the sport to convince you that you'd seen a race, convince the global watching world or listening world that some sort of event had taken place that was worthy of awarding a race winner and World Championship points. You do that, you don't have to refund the fans for the event not taking place, do you? So we'll pretend that there was a race, won't we? We won't draw anybody's attention to the criteria of when a race is actually deemed to have started. Instead, we'll bullshit everybody. That's fraud. That is fraud. So, that'll do on this one. Whether at some point we'll break this down, the accounts of Formula One management and their auditors, who found that yes, there was no such fraud. Formula One have said that they've not committed a fraud, and the auditors have decided, yeah, there is no fraud. We did not identify any additional fraud risk, say the auditors. But they caveat that, oh, we've only done a small audit, so you can't blame us if they did do a fraud. Yes. Anyway, that'll do on this one. Thank you for your time.